Hey there, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin, and today I am here with a drugstore beauty starter kit. So this is makeup I would recommend for beginners, people who are just starting out with makeup. They don't really know what to buy or what they should look for in a product, or they just want some recommendations on some basic products that I think work really well and are budget friendly. I know that when I first started out with makeup, I only shopped at the drugstore. I didn't want to commit to spending so much money on products when I barely even knew how to use them yet. And if you're younger, maybe you're in middle school or whatever age you may be, I know a lot of people don't really have the budget to be buying luxury products. So everything in this video will be from drugstores and very affordable. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and I would be happy to do my best to answer it. Alright, let's get started. First things first, let's start with the face. I'm going to go and talk about foundation first. This is the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous foundation. And what I like about this foundation is it's super full coverage and it lasts all day. And I think that is one of the most frustrating things when you're first starting out, is feeling like your makeup is oily or sliding around. You might not like the feeling of it. So finding a foundation that feels really comfortable on your skin and lasts well without feeling like you've caked it on is something that I think is super important for beginners. So I would definitely recommend this one. I feel like this really is the standout drugstore foundation in my opinion. For concealer, I would recommend the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Mine is super beat up looking, so excuse that, but it's just a little doe foot applicator. So it's super easy to dot on to any blemishes you might have. You can also use this under the eye to conceal any under eye circles that you might have. And I like this one if you're just starting out because it is multi-purpose. You can use it. It works really well on blemishes. You can use it under the eye. So I think if you're just going to buy one concealer, this one is a really creamy consistency. It covers really well. So I like that one a lot. Alright, now let's talk powder. This is the Maybelline New York Dream Wonder powder. Mine is super used. You can see that I have hit the bottom of the container right there, so ignore that. But I just think this is really smooth, really finely milled. It blends really easily. It doesn't look super cakey. So I think this is a good one if you would like a powder. The purpose of a powder is to set your makeup after you've applied a liquid or cream product. It helps it stay on longer. But if you're just starting out and you only want to buy a few products, I think powder is one that you can skip. That's just my personal opinion. If you're someone who has super oily skin or you know, you're using a ton of cream products, then maybe you would want the powder. But when I was starting out, I didn't really use powder all that often. So up to you. Again, anything that I'm showing you guys, if you're like, I don't think I'd use that, or I don't think I need that when I'm starting, feel free to skip it. It's your face, you do what you want with it. Real quick, I want to talk about brushes. Brushes are something that I feel like can really change your makeup game. When I first started with makeup, I 100% used the sponge tip applicators that come with eyeshadow palettes. I used my fingers for foundation. I've been there. That can work, okay? But if you really want to take your makeup game to the next level, brushes can make it so much easier to get the kinds of looks that you want, and they can make it faster, more precise. It's just having brushes changes everything. And they don't have to be expensive and you don't have to have a ton. So I've pulled 6 brushes that are all inexpensive drugstore brand brushes, if I could hold them properly. Here they are. And this would be like my basic kit for you guys, and you don't have to get all of these, whatever. I'm just going to talk about them and what they're used for and why I would recommend picking something like this up. Okay, so let's start with this brush. This brand is called Real Techniques. It is sold at Ulta, and they have 2 lines. One, this is like their basic standard line, and then they also have their Bold Metals collection, which is more high-end, more expensive, but these are still really great quality, these ones. And so this is the Expert Face Brush, and this is great for applying your foundation. So what you can do, or what I like to do, is taking a little of the foundation, tapping it between my fingers, and then kind of dotting it all over my face, and then just using this to kind of blend it out and make sure it's distributed evenly, and I think you get such a better finish and it's less messy, and I just would definitely recommend a foundation brush. So again, this is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush from Ulta. You can also order online if you don't have an Ulta near you. If you are going to purchase this from Ulta, Ulta will do a buy one get one 50% off quite frequently. So if you want to pick up another one of the brushes I mentioned, you can potentially get them on sale. So that is another bonus. Next up, I'm going to talk about blush brushes slash powder brushes. When I first started out, I had like one brush, and it was a small blush powder brush that my cousin gave me, and I used it for everything. And that's fine when you're first starting out. Why not? So I've got a couple options here to share with you. This is the Real Techniques blush brush. So if you wanted to do the buy one get one 50% off, I love this brush. Some people also like to use it for powder because it's a nice big fluffy brush, and that is what you want for a powder brush generally. So this is great, also good for cheeks. Love this. And then this one is actually from the Target Up and Up brand. So you know, like Target's house brand, they make everything from Up and Up, you know, and they also make some really nice quality makeup brushes. So this is their blush brush, and just really nice quality for the price. Would definitely recommend this. Emily Noel 89 has an entire video on Up and Up brushes, so I'll put that link in the description box if you are interested in purchasing some inexpensive brushes from Up and Up. So when you're just starting out, you could just pick one of those brushes. You don't necessarily have to have two, although if you are going to be using one for blush all the time, you know, you might get color on it, whereas you might not want to accidentally get that color when you're just trying to put powder on. So that would be like maybe the reason to get two. Alright, let's talk about eyes. I would recommend the Sonia Kashuk line from Target. She's got two brush lines. One comes looking like this. It's like white with the little black on the bottom, and this is like the standard brush line. And then she also has a studio brush line, which is slightly more expensive but still reasonably priced. So get whatever you want. I happen to have some of the studio line and some of this line. First, just a flat shader brush. This is going to be your basic best friend for applying eyeshadow. This would be just like a little way to apply color to your lid. Then, and this is kind of the next step when you're more advanced, this would be like a crease brush, something a little bit fluffier, more hairs. The one brush I would definitely encourage you to get, because it will make your life so much easier, is a blending brush. This one is from the Sonia Kashuk Basics standard brush line. What you want in a blending brush is just a super fluffy tapered brush. And what this does is, if you're working a darker color into your crease, you can take this and kind of just like buff it out so that it looks more natural. There's not as much of a line in between where the dark eyeshadow is and where your skin color is, and it just makes blending just so much easier, and you would be surprised at how much blending can improve your eyeshadow look. So would recommend this. I mean, it could be from any brand, as long as it's this kind of general, just like loose, fluffy, tapered shape, you're good to go. Alright, let's talk about some face products. I will start with bronzer. I didn't have bronzer when I first started out. It just wasn't a priority for me, so feel free to skip whatever you want to skip, get whatever you want to get. But this is the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster. It's the deluxe edition in the light to medium shade. They also have a deeper shade if you would desire. And it's just this kind of color here. And it looks a little orange swatched, but it's actually pretty nice on your skin otherwise. Plus, most people aren't as pale as me, so, you know, there's that. But I just think that Physicians Formula has some good bronzers. They are a little more expensive from the drugstore, but I think they're nice quality. For blush, I think that Milani has some of the nicest blushes in the drugstore. I would recommend any blush from their line that suits your heart's desire. I have their newer powder blush in the shade Tea Rose to share with you, and these are so cute. They've got the little rose, you know, design in it. These are just super pigmented, really easy to work with. And I'll do a little swatchy. So that's a small little swatch. I hope you can even see this, but I am wearing it today, a little bit of it lightly. I think this is a good neutral color if you're starting out. I think a muted rose or pink is really great for beginners. You want something that's going to go with most of your eyeshadow looks or whatever you're wearing that day. Another bonus item that you can purchase if you wish is this Wet n Wild Color Icon. It's a bronzer, but it's really a highlighter. This is in the shade Reserve Your Cabana, and it's got this cute little sun pressed into it. And this is just a gorgeous, almost matte, it's really kind of like a satiny color. It's really close to my skin color, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. But what you would do with this is you would just put it on the tops of your cheekbones for a little extra glow in the summer. And this is, again, like a bonus. Totally don't need this. If you want it, this is a really good inexpensive highlighter. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to do your highlight and your contour, that's a good one. Try that one. Alright, let's do eyes. To start, I think one of the best products that you can get, you know, even if you're not using eyeshadow yet, mascara. Just really makes you look more polished. And I think you're lucky here because the Drugstore actually has some of the best mascaras. I have experimented with some high-end mascaras, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm reaching for my Drugstore mascaras. I really think they're fabulous. And if you're just starting out and you just want to buy one, Lash Blast Volume. I just really think you can't go wrong. It's a big rubberized brush, and I think it's easy to work with. Washes off easily, but it doesn't run or flake or anything like that. And I think it gives you a good result. So would recommend this, but really it's hard to go wrong with Drugstore mascaras. There's a lot of really good ones, so feel free to go rogue on this recommendation. If you're going to be using eyeshadow, I would highly recommend a primer. I didn't use a primer for years, and I felt like there weren't really primers in the drugstore when I was, you know, in middle school and high school. It was really difficult to find a drugstore primer. But they are so helpful, both for getting the most pigmentation out of your eyeshadow and for making sure it stays on, it doesn't all end up in your crease or wear off if you have oily eyelids, which is kind of a weird problem, but a very common problem. So my recommendation would be, if you are on a tight budget and you need to find something inexpensive, this e.l.f. eyelid primer is $1 and it does the trick. So it's just like a little wand. It goes on sheer. It's not like a concealer or anything, but it will help your eyeshadow stay in place better. So for $1, I think this is well worth it to start using some primer. Okay, I kept going back and forth on what eyeshadow I wanted to feature in this video, so I'm going to give you 3 options. Sorry if that's too many and it's making your head explode, but I think you guys can handle it. The first one is from Wet n Wild, and I picked this out because if you're a true beginner with makeup, I think this is a great little trio that will give you just a wonderful everyday look. I'm wearing it in this video, and the packaging's a little cheap. Mine actually broke, but the eyeshadow still works. This is called the Walking on Eggshells Trio, and they even write it on here for you, eyelid, crease, brow bone. I would say not every Wet n Wild palette would I follow those instructions, but I think those are generally good tips for this one. As a general starting out with makeup tip, you would generally want to apply, for a very easy, simple look, a mid-tone on your lid, a darker tone in your crease, and then your lightest color on your brow bone underneath your eyebrow, and then in the inner corner of your eye for a little highlight. So that's just like a basic like rule of thumb for just learning your eyeshadow game. But I'll swatch this for you. Oh my goodness, I've got mascara on my finger. Oh, the hazards of YouTube. Okay, so here is a swatchy of this. There's my fingers. There it is on my wrist. Oh man, I've just put it in a super awkward place. Oh, can you see that? Okay, I'm gonna try and film a separate shot of this so you guys can see maybe. So these are really inexpensive and the pigmentation is really good, so definitely an option for you. And the colors are basic everyday neutral colors, so good for someone who just wants, you know, to start their kit. If you're looking for something a little more fun, maybe more color, I like this Maybelline Quad. They're really silky, shimmery shades, and this is in the color Mad for Mauve. And you've got some like a mid-tone shade, which would go on your lid. One of these colors can go in your crease, and then this can be your highlight color. I just think these, oh my god, I've got mascara everywhere. How did that happen? Okay, I'll give these a swatchy swatch. Now, if you don't want to bother with the palettes, you're not ready for that yet. You just want one eyeshadow to put it all over your lid. I really love the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. They are these little pressed pigments, and they come with this little gray thing in it. Keep it in there because that keeps it pressed so it doesn't crumble. And this one is an iced latte, and it is just the most shimmery, beautiful inner corner highlight. It can be used all over your lid, and it's just so pretty. So I put that one right there, and it's just such a pretty color. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, some eyeliner. This is the Maybelline Master Precise Liquid Liner. It's got a felt tip, so it's just like drawing with a marker. It's got a thin little edge, so it's really easy to draw a nice thin line. And I honestly think that a liquid liner pen is easier than an eyeliner pencil. I feel like sometimes eyeliner pencils can look sloppy or smudgy, and this just looks so good. And if you're nervous about liquid liner, and you're like, I can't do a cat eye, you don't have to. You can just use this on your lash line. You don't even have to wing it out. I know like that's what a lot of people like to do with liquid liner. Totally optional, so don't be intimidated. I actually have a whole separate video about that liquid liner, as well as another one of Maybelline's liquid liner, so I'll link that down below if you want to watch more. And then if you want to enhance your brows a little bit, I would definitely recommend this NYX Micro Brow Pencil. It's awesome because it's got a little spoolie brush on one side, so you use this to brush up your brows to the desired shape. Make sure they're, you know, in order, they're looking tamed. And then you take this little tiny pencil and use it to gently draw in your brows. You want to do that in just some short little strokes. You don't want to be like coloring in the lines. Just short little strokes is all you need, and then if you need to blend it back out, like make it look more natural, you can go back in with the brush. Again, that's totally optional. If you don't want to fill in your brows, you don't have to. And the last thing, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the last thing, is for your lips. And this is one of my all-time favorite lip colors. So beautiful. This is the Revlon Color Burst Balm Stain in the shade Honey. And mine is super, super worn down. It's a little nubbin. But it's just a, I'm wearing it also, a neutral rosy color. Great for every day. It wears well. It lasts a long time since it is a stain. But it's not too intense. It's really easy to apply because it's in a crayon format. So you don't have to be bothered with, you know, lip liners or anything like that when you're starting out. So this would be my top pick for your starter makeup kit. Alright guys, that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new to my channel and would like to see more videos, please hit that subscribe button. It's totally free, and my new videos will be sent to your video feed, and you'll get lots of awesome makeup tips and fun times. So I hope to see you guys around sometime soon. Thumbs up this video if you found it helpful, and again, feel free to leave me a comment if you have any questions. Bye guys, see you next time.